This story about boys love Omegaverse. It's about two dimensions or reincarnation about the Prince of Alpha and his lover, the lovely Omega. And this story also has an amazing plot of male pregnancy of the lovely Omega. And they will have 3 of children at the end of the story. This is the lovely of Omega when he was in the previous life, with high bright eyes and mesmerizing smile on his life. However, that smile already gone forever because of the Prince Alpha's mistakes, and he wishes he will meet his lovely Omega again in the next life. This is the present day, which is both of them will meeting again. However, sadly both of them didn't know each other. This is the punishment for Prince Alpha's wishes. In their first meeting moments already have a lovely feeling, but for sure it's just a scene, they can't describe it. On the rainy day, the lovely Omega came out to pick up his father with the umbrella. However, suddenly his father was fired from the job as an artist exhibition. For sure his father can't afford their living expenses anymore, and importantly the father can't afford his medicine of Omega's heat. Because of the lovely Omega exhaustion from his several job pluses on his Omega's heat, he passed out in front of the President Alpha. Thankfully the President Alpha quickly himself and catching up his body. And once again, he saved him from any danger in public place after he had his heat cycle that need to release his body. For sure the President Alpha helped him, and both of the already on the cloud of 9 in the President Alpha's office. The next morning, the President Alpha's secretary coming to help him and send the lovely Omega to home with his snoozing moments. The lovely Omega really sleep like a dead body and didn't realize he already late for his job. Moreover, he also received a mysterious gift from the President Alpha. Moreover, the President Alpha also can't focus on his business because he remains remember how hot his night with the lovely Omega before and wishes he will meet him again. However, for suddenly the lovely Omega received a bad news about his father. His father was hospitalized because of the incident with the exhibition's artist company. This is because he wants to his art to get exhibits again for help his lovely son to getting better life as an Omega. Another day, his father was discharged. Someone comes to their house. It was the President Alpha. And actually, he was the president of the exhibition company that the lovely Omega's father got fired. For sure the lovely feels anger towards him. Because of the President Alpha, his father got injured and he revenge for spilling the iced coffee on the President Alpha's body. However, the President Alpha just sitting silently at the corner and listen every word that the lovely Omega spurts to him, and for sure he didn't even mad at him because he know this is all his company mistake that he really didn't know about it too. However, for another day, the President Alpha can't help and find the lovely Omega again on cafe he worked, but he needs to catch himself up because the lovely Omega already end of his job that day. Moreover, the lovely Omega got assaulted by some strangers. Thankfully, the President Alpha arrived at the right time to save him. Shockingly, the lovely Omega isn't weaker and he can fight himself. However, that stranger using dirty ways towards him, using his smelly pheromones to make the lovely Omega becomes weak. For sure the President Alpha anger and takes revenge for using his strongest pheromones over that dirty stranger and bring the lovely Omega to the safe place. After several hours, the lovely Omega woke up from his passing out. He stares at the handsome President Alpha's face until he realizes that the president's face that he hates himself and he becomes annoying about it. However, the President Alpha also worried about him too. Actually, the President Alpha has a great personality and good person. But because of misunderstanding, the lovely Omega slaps his face because he thought the President Alpha wants his body as exchanging himself. Moreover, actually, the President Alpha just wants to help him and getting better job at the company. Another new day. The lovely Omega has started his new job, but he got lost at the early morning in the biggest company. Thankfully, the President Alpha's secretary helped him to reach his office room. This is the President Alpha sneezing himself because the lovely Omega cursing himself non-stop because he feels annoying. The President Alpha loved to jokingly around, and he liked to testify to the lovely Omega's knowledge. Moreover, thankfully, the lovely Omega answered with the correct spelling about company's artist. This is the most sentimental of the art that will make your tears down. After the lovely Omega got better job at the biggest company, his life becomes great, his father also making super delicious food for him, until now everything is fine and good. The President Alpha also satisfied with himself after sacrificing everything he could just for win the lovely Omega's heart. However, suddenly his cousin coming back from the other country to visit him. Moreover, his cousin also has his own agenda towards the President Alpha. At the right time, his cousin just pushed honking towards the President Alpha for hurrying himself up for dinner. This couple is the lovely Omega's best friend. They are really nice person to him. The lovely Omega feels disappointing because he saw of the President Alpha's pictures on someone media social app. The lovely Omega misunderstanding, which is he thought the President Alpha is going out with his lover when he saw the post on the Instagram app, and he got himself drunk until dizzy himself. At the same moments, the cousin also smells something pheromones that he was looking for years, somebody with that scent, for sure he trying to become detective for himself. He found the lovely Omega as a co-worker at the President Alpha's company and started to do something about his plan. He's trying to reach him out and bringing himself into the dining scene. With his smirk on his face, for sure he thought that his plan will succeed. In this moment, the cousin plans about himself sleeping with the lovely Omega before, and he recorded himself. For sure he told to the President Alpha about his hot night. And the President Alpha thought that his cousin's one-night stands is the lovely Omega. For sure he feels so much hurting himself and stay away from him. Until one day, the cousin trying to assault the lovely Omega at the bar. Thankfully, the lovely Omega is the tough one. He never surrendered himself and just slapped the cousin's face immediately. He also realized his feelings towards the President Alpha and wants to meet him as soon as possible. And now both of themselves realize their feelings towards each other, and accidentally, that night is the President Alpha's rut is coming, for sure he doing his love to the lovely Omega non-stop until morning. Moreover, he also shocked himself because he didn't expect that the lovely Omega already passed himself alone after that hot night together. In this time, the lovely Omega cannot walking himself because he too exhaust himself. Meanwhile, the lovely Omega sleeping beauty, he also dreamed about he had 2 eggs, one is warm and one is hot, so what actually that's mean? The President Alpha also gentle to him, he prepared a delicious breakfast before he sends the lovely Omega going home, because this now his leg already gone numb and weak. However, the lovely Omega's father really shocked and surprised after seeing his lovely son becomes paralyzed. He also refused and against for both of them, and immediately he prepared something ritual for the President Alpha. This is just for making sure if the President Alpha really love his son. For sure the President chugging all the blended herbs that his father-in-law's ingredients herbs and immediately makes him blurry and immediately faint after successfully confess his sincere feelings. For sure the father just joking around and approval his son relationship together. However, because the President Alpha's stomach is empty without breakfast before, he just throws up and vomiting the blended herbs. Meanwhile he resting. His secretary call and tell him that he needs to fly to New York for business purposes. Because of his sickness this morning, and plus the long journey on the flight, the president sleeping like passed out, and suddenly the lovely Omega feels hungry. So he decided to try and reach quick for fast food near his hotel, and he meets someone unknown who helps him to speak with the worker to order his food. In the next fresh morning, the President Alpha already feels great after rest all night. He also prepared the best breakfast for his lovely lover and reminds him to wake himself up for accompany him to go somewhere else. In this moment, both of them knowing about each other's self more specific, and actually the lovely Omega older 1 year from the President Alpha. And this guy is someone that the lovely Omega friend when he was in New York. However, this guy have he own trick over the President Alpha, and he also plans something devil himself for stealing the diamonds of the heirloom. For this lovely day, the President Alpha is pretending sulky, because every time he was sneezing for sure somebody just cursing him out, for sure the lovely Omega also cursing him before. That's why he pretended to childish himself. However, for sure the lovely Omega persuaded him out and invited him over his house. After they had a dinner, the President Alpha cannot hold himself over lovely Omega. Moreover, the lovely Omega's father coming back in the wrong time. Both of them are shocked and hiding themselves behind the door. But thankfully the father just coming for a while and gets out again. For another important day, the President Alpha brings his lover for meeting his parents. For sure the lovely Omega feels nervous and scary. But everything is good for sure, because the President Alpha also have a great family.